Hey guys, it's Emma Romano here. I'm here in a mission, and that is to create amazing, confident practitioners, but not just confident practitioners in their business, but in all parts of their lives, and have a really magnetic program that they can create for their clients, and to have this amazing, incredible life in all corners of their own personal life as well. Let me just tell you a little bit about my story. Grab yourself a cuppa. It might be a minute or two, but just let me tell you where I've come from. I'm currently sitting here in front of this camera talking to you. I've spent so much time and effort on me, my business, and creating the most incredible fucking life. Sorry, by the way, big disclosure, I do swear. So if there's any kids around, tell them to move away or go grab yourself some headphones, okay? Just pause. You good? All right. So let me explain who I am, where I am. I'm a mum. I'm a mum of two amazing kids, Jack and Ben. They're now actually mini adults. It's kind of crazy. I am married to an incredible man called Anthony. It's my second one. Much better than the first one, gotta tell ya. And life's pretty fucking good. We live in an incredible, beautiful home. We have investment properties. I have the coolest ass fucking Mercedes convertible, like you have no idea. But life wasn't always like this. And just starting to talk about this, my journey actually makes me makes me emotional. But bear with me. I'm gonna take you on a ride if you're ready for it. So where did I come from and where am I now? Well, you know where I am now. I have this incredible, global, beautiful, amazing business, and I've got my shit together. I have money. I have great relationships with my friends. I have a great relationship with me. Fucking finally. So let me take you back to 2014. Do I have tissues? I always kind of need tissues for this. So let me talk to you about 2014. I was 44 and I was one of the busiest mums in the world. Two kids, they were 12 and 11 at the time, and married. This was my life. I was a tennis coach. I was coaching tennis. I've been coaching tennis for like 31 years. I was doing roller derby. Yes, doing roller derby. Google it. It's stupid. It's just dumb. Don't do roller derby, especially in your 40s. It's nuts. I was doing roller derby, competition tennis, competition netball. What else was I doing? I was cleaning people's houses. I was also working behind a bar. I was so heavily involved in the kids' primary school. I was heavily involved in the kids' softball. Let me just explain to you. I was doing everything that I possibly can not to have 5 minutes to myself, because my self-worth was fucking deplorable. So what I did was I just made myself busy, because if I had 5 minutes to think, thinking meant feeling, and feeling I didn't want to feel, because feeling back then for me was too painful. So I had this really big problem about being judged, and I literally put myself into exhaustion. I killed myself with doing everything for everyone else except for myself. Let me put it this way. I had 2 dogs, a cat, 2 guinea pigs, and a bird, and I put them before me. I put the kids' friends before my needs. I put everybody's needs before my needs, because that's what you do, isn't it? Isn't that what you do as a woman? Isn't that what you do as a mom? You're supposed to put everybody first before yourself. And then something really big happened. It was really big. Whew, getting the emotions. Are you ready for this? It was Easter, and every Easter we would go camping as a family. And let me explain, my husband, great gorgeous guy, and he's a chippy, he's a carpenter. And back then we lived literally paycheck to paycheck. So we didn't have much money. So every Easter we would go camping, and we'd be in tents, and we would have so much fun, and we're off camping. It was Easter Thursday, and I just didn't feel very well. And you know, I was 44, and let me tell you, my husband's 7 years younger than me. Yeah. Oh, I did very well for myself, thank you. Right, so my husband and I said then we're driving for about 2 hours, and my eyesight was quite blurry. I didn't need glasses back then. And I said to him, I went, babe, my like eyesight's blurry. I just don't feel so great. And he goes, well, babe, you know, you are kind of old and shit right now. So I'm like, oh. So obviously Anthony didn't get much action that weekend. Come about 3 days after, I lost color. And this is what I mean is when I was looking, it was in my left eye. So if I covered my left eye, I could see bright color in my right eye. But if I covered my right, everything with color was very dull in my left eye. We come back home on Monday, Tuesday. By Tuesday, I'm in hospital. I went to the eye and ear hospital, and they actually said to me, we don't know what's wrong with you. You must have a virus, just go home. I'm like, okay. But I still didn't feel very well. And every time I looked left, right, up or down, I would get this shooting pain, like really bad shooting pain up into my top of my head. And I'm this fit, vibrant person, you know, doing everything for everyone. And by Thursday, I'd actually lost all sight in my left eye. It was completely black. Freaked the fuck out, could you imagine? So I go back to the hospital, MRIs, I do all this, call me in a couple of days later, and they said, we need someone to come in and support you. I'm like, okay. They said, you have optic neuritis. And I went, what is optic neuritis? So it's actually the nerve from the eyeball to the brain that's damaged. I'm like, okay, well, how do we fix it? And they said a series of injections. You'll be in hospital for a little while. I'm okay. They said, but there's only 4 reasons why you get optic neuritis. I'm like, okay. They said HIV, AIDS, a brain tumor or MS. And I'm like, what do you choose? Which one doesn't kill me? And I'm so blessed that they chose MS. So they told me I had multiple sclerosis. When you're a woman who is so fucking busy trying to please everybody else, and then you have this, I was a massive people pleaser. Like a massive people pleaser. I'm gonna tell you back then, if you'd asked me, hey Emma, what's your favorite color? I'd be like, hey, what's yours? And you might say purple. I go, oh my God, me too. I did not even know how I liked my eggs in the morning. You would have to tell me. That's how much of a people pleaser I was. This is how much I was trying to validate my own self-worth through other people. So, I find out I've got multiple sclerosis, and they say, don't freak out, it's okay, because we kind of wait for a second event. And I'm like, what does that even mean? The first event is the optic neuritis. You may not have anything for 25 years. Go home, let's heal you of optic neuritis and see how we go. I'm like, okay. Easier said than done. 6 weeks later, I'm at the chiropractic clinic. I loved working at this chiropractic. I was a receptionist. I'm standing there, last client to go, end of my shift. And then bang, I'm standing there and I cannot feel my right leg. Literally from the top of my hip all the way down to my toes, I've lost my leg. It's gone, I can't feel it. It's not tingly, it's nothing, I can't feel it. So I'm calling out to my boss, Jim. Jim's gone, go back to the hospital. I go back to the hospital and they went, okay, we need to start putting on medication. So I did. I did everything they told me to do. I was on all kinds of medication. I'm still on medication for the eye, going in, getting infusions. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Let's fast track 3 months. Now within that 3 months, chronic fatigue, depression, I can feel the feelings coming again, guys. The anxiety, but the fear was so strong. And I think the hardest thing for me was my biggest value in life is family. It's my biggest value. It's my greatest love is my family. I couldn't mum. I couldn't make dinners. I couldn't clean. I couldn't hug anymore because I was in so much pain. By that stage, I'd actually lost feelings in my arms. I would drop things all the time. The fatigue was a killer because even going to the toilet, anyone who's had chronic fatigue out there, you'll know, even going to the bathroom and coming back, you have to have a sleep. So you're not so much fun for young boys to be around anymore. And you're not so much fun for anybody anymore. Something happened. And it was actually two things happened within 2 days, which really turned me. So hold on, I'm getting to the good bit, all right? I'm getting to the good bit. There was two things that happened, and it was literally a Saturday and a Sunday. On the Saturday, my son Ben and I were sitting there watching our favorite movie together on the couch, and it was How to Train Your Dragon. Yes, we're obsessed by dragons, which you'll find out working with me. I'm obsessed by dragons. Anyway, we're sitting there, and my son Ben was about 11 at the time, and he put his hand on my knee. It was about 3 months into my MS journey. And at this, I couldn't drive, I couldn't work. I hadn't worked for 3 months, couldn't drive, couldn't really walk, couldn't do anything. And he put his hand on my knee and he went, "I really like it when you're sick." And it threw me. And I went, "What the fuck do you mean?" And he goes, "You're still." This really threw me for a bucket of shit. And I tell you why, because I had never been present with my children. I had never been present with me. I didn't know how to be, because being still meant thinking meant feeling. And there was too much trauma for me to go into that. So I just consistently made myself busy. The next day, we're at my in-laws, and Anthony handed me my 18-month-old niece, back at the time, Georgia. And I lost her in my arms. I couldn't feel her, and I dropped her. And all I can say is, thank God my husband played footy and he caught her. But this is the thing. We were standing over concrete steps, and Georgia had gone head first, and her head would have been about this far from hitting the corner of a concrete step. I would have really hurt her. And that's when I sat there. Two major things. Have you noticed? Me getting MS wasn't enough for me to change. It was actually my family. So on the Monday, I've called up and I've gone to the neurologist again some stage that week. So I was actually diagnosed 10th of April, 2014. And this is the end of July, 2014. I went into the neurologist again. I went, right, what has to happen for me to get better? They did more tests. And they said, "I'm sorry, Emma, but you're really going down, and I would suggest in the next 6 months, you'll probably be in a wheelchair. And then possibly 2 years after that, you would probably be in a nursing home because you'll be too much for your family to care for you." So at the age of 46, I'm going to be in a nursing home. Just let that sit with you for a fucking second. And I just went, no fucking way in the world. And I got up and I walked out, and that is when I had made a decision. I made a decision that I am going to heal myself, because I believe that MS was happening for me, not to me. And I'm going to come to this because I wasn't listening to the little signs for me to stop and heal. So this is what happened. I walk out of there, I make this decision, and believe me, universe is listening to every single fucking thing you're saying, and they will only decide on your decisions. They will give you what you decide, what not you think about. So I made this decision, I'm gonna fucking heal myself. I get in the car, I'm with my friend Suzanne, I'm bawling my eyes out. And then next thing my phone goes and somebody sends me a text message saying, hey hun, there's this guy in town from Bali who talks about healing their gut health and he's helped people with MS. Go and see him. Boom, that was the start of my journey. I go on this incredible journey, and can I tell you, I actually healed the MS very freaking quickly, very quickly. So I had all these lesions in my head, and there was one in my brainstem. That was the one that was fucking everything up, right? But the optic neuritis, that was probably the thing. They always said, you'll never get your eyesight back because I've done too much damage. This eye is better than that eye. So you go figure it out. So I start healing myself. And I take myself on this 4-day retreat, right? Trust me, it ain't no kumbaya, my fucking Lord treat. It was no meditation. It was get in there, rip shit out, get your soul, let's wash it and let's shove it back in. I had to go through all this stuff, and I had all this trauma around my father, trauma around abandonment, trauma around belief systems, trauma around religion. I had been kidnapped before, that's a whole other story. I had been through all these things and I had never healed the old wounds. So I am just like, let's shove that emotion away. Let's shove that event away. Let's just keep going. Let's just build some more drama. Let's just build some more trauma. Let's create something else over here. And literally my body and my soul and my spirit had had enough. Thank fuck. Thank fuck. Because what I do now is all the modalities I've learned, all the people I see, so I healed myself, right? And I go, right, I'm gonna start freaking seeing people. I'm gonna teach them what I know. And that's what I do. But I can only see one person at a time. So in 2019, I started teaching. And what happened was literally these processes that I teach, people were getting magnetized towards them. I was barely advertising. Just people are jumping in and going, holy shit, Emma, this has changed my fucking world. This has changed my life. And not just in their business, but all parts, because that's where it's different. I can't sit here and say to you, hey, you need to sort your shit out when my family's fucked. My family has to be in a really great place for me to teach what I do and share what I do. And that's why I'm here. This is what I do. And I love it. And it's gone global. And if you ever feel just part of this story, you get excited about it, you're feeling into it, I want you to check through my website. Have a look, because it's all there. It's lots of videos that you can have a look at. And I want to welcome you into this. I want you welcome you into this space, because after all of that trauma and such the beautiful healing journey I've been on and still going on, we're always healing. Let me just tell you something before you had some crazy idea. I'm going to let you in on a big secret. There is no destination to your healing process. There ain't no, oh, I'm done now. Trust me on that one. There's no destination, but it is the most beautiful fucking ride you'll ever go on. It's so much better than creating drama, creating trauma, ignoring and distracting yourself, because it will catch up on you. It will catch up on you. I want to thank you so much for listening to this video and watching. Thank you so much for going through the ride with me. It's an emotional one, it's a beautiful one. And the difference is this. If you jump in, or when you jump in, or if you feel that calling, I want you to know you're fully supported. I've got you. My beautiful, amazing team of certified sovereign practitioners have you. It's a very, very different way of learning. It's a very different containership. It's a very different way of life. But I want you to know that we've got you. Thank you so much for listening. Mwah!